Hi, today I'm going to explain a film called Addicted. Let's get in. The film opens with Zoe Reynard goes to see a therapist named Dr. Marcella Spencer, who specializes in sexual addiction. Zoe hopes for this meeting to be discreet. She recounts the events that led up to this moment, starting 6 months ago. Zoe has a loving husband, Jason, along with 2 kids. However, despite she and Jason having great sex, she still doesn't feel fully satisfied afterwards. She retreats to the living room where she watches porn and masturbates with her vibrator. Zoe is also the owner of her own art gallery company, Zoe & Co., which looks to work with up-and-coming artists. Zoe's best friend and assistant Brina gives her a brochure of work from one Quentin Canosa, and an exhibit featuring his work is to be on display that week. At the exhibit, Zoe meets Quentin, a handsome and charming man. She is in awe of his work, and he is in awe of her beauty. Quentin comes off as flirty, if not a bit creepy, when showing his work off to Zoe. They exchange information to meet up again. Zoe continues to pursue other sordid affairs, like dressing up to go to the club when she tells her mother she's going to the grocery store. At night, she and Jason have shower sex, but she dreams that night about being in bed with Quentin. Quentin has Zoe go over to his studio. She brings out her contract for him to sign on with her company, and without a second thought, he does so. Zoe is about to leave, when Quentin attempts to seduce her. She tells him she is married, but she eventually relents to Quentin's charms and allows him to perform oral sex on her. Zoe's sexual pursuits and subsequent guilt cuts into her work and family life. She misses her son's soccer games and is spaced out when Brina tells her that another potential client, Balthazar Crane, whose office has called 3 times to set up a meeting with Zoe. Zoe goes to Quentin's place again to put an end to the affair. There, she meets a young woman named Diamond, who knows Zoe's name and says any questions for Quentin can be asked to her. Zoe finds Quentin and tells him she can't go on doing this because she loves Jason. Quentin brings her around to show her some street art he's done. He explains that he started painting after his father committed suicide when Quentin's mother left them. He expresses his desire for companionship. This makes Zoe feel bad, so they start kissing again and then have sex. This, in turn, makes Zoe miss a meeting with Balthazar Crane. She catches up with him and lies that she had to take care of her sick daughter. He tells her they can reschedule. Zoe continues the affair despite her guilt. She lets Quentin paint her nude before they go make love again. In the present, Dr. Spencer determines that Zoe has a powerful sex addiction that's just as heavy as any drug addiction. She suggests to Zoe that she proposes couples counseling to Jason. She later asks him if they can see a therapist about their sex life, but Jason refuses to pay someone a lot of money to talk about personal information. After another round of sex, Quentin asks Zoe to leave her husband and be with him. She declines, because she still loves Jason. This doesn't stop her from going to the club and attracting the attention of another man named Corey. They have sex in the bathroom, which Zoe mentions to Dr. Spencer as having enjoyed every minute of it. This other affair continues whenever Zoe can't be with Quentin. By now, Zoe has lost trust with her son, after missing his last soccer game of the season. At work, she has slacked off so much that her employees and Brina have all noticed and are not happy with her. Brina confronts her and berates Zoe for allowing a few clients to slip through her fingers while not seeming at all fazed by this news. Zoe goes back to Quentin's place to find him having sex with Diamond. Zoe is pissed at him for this and she storms out, leaving him confused, like the rest of us. Jason sits home at night in the living room waiting for Zoe. He confronts her about her being out late without notice and how she's missed so much from the family. Zoe tries to spin it around on him that he stays late at work, but at least in Jason's defense, he lets her know where she is. Zoe returns to Quentin's place, again, but their almost sex is interrupted when who should show up at his door, but Jason. Zoe hides. Jason is there to meet with Quentin over business with Zoe, unaware that they have already done plenty of business together. Jason looks through Quentin's artwork and comes across the covered painting of Zoe and Quentin in a sexual position. Before he can see it, Jason is called away by his partner. Zoe asks Quentin if he was going to stop Jason from seeing that. Zoe is now left out of her family's time when Jason takes the kids to the movies, but the kids don't want Zoe to go with them. Furthermore, Quentin sends over a sculpture after Jason mentions that Zoe liked his work. At Dr. Spencer's behest, Zoe calls both Quentin and Corey together to put an end to the affairs. Corey is annoyed and he tries to shove Zoe, but Quentin holds him off. Corey starts to leave, when Quentin grabs a sculpture and smashes it over Corey's head. It's unclear whether or not this killed him or just knocked him out. Quentin advances toward Zoe, but she shoves glass to the floor, making him step on it and cut his feet. Zoe hides behind his paintings. He grabs a sharp object and stalks her. He manages to find her, but before he can hurt Zoe, Jason appears and whacks Quentin over the head with the sculpture. Jason throws Zoe her other phone that she used to chat with Quentin, leaving Jason with everything he needs to know about the affair. He leaves and Zoe follows, just as Diamond comes in to tend to Quentin. Zoe follows Jason and tries to talk to him, but he tells her that he is leaving her and taking the kids, and that she is dead to him. Devastated, Zoe decides to fulfill this claim by walking into the path of a car. Jason runs to her side. Over the next few months, Zoe is recovering in the hospital while her family worries for her. Her company officially closes its doors. Diamond takes care of Quentin in his place. In the hospital, Zoe has a flashback to herself as a little girl being attacked by a boy, giving her the scar on her wrist. She eventually is able to go home, and her kids are happy to see her. However, Jason is still hurt and feels he can't keep pretending like everything is okay. Zoe goes to a sex addict support group that Dr. Spencer invited her to. There, Zoe opens up about a traumatic childhood experience where she was raped by 3 boys, something she's avoided talking to Dr. Spencer about. Jason steps out from the next room to hear what Zoe has to say. She breaks down in tears and admits her problem, but she still loves Jason and wants to make the relationship work. He goes over to her and hugs her. They kiss and repeat their motto, "Our love is forever. Always has been, always will be." Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.